Participation, what is it all about? Let's explore it some more. When we begin to think about participation, there are some key bits of information that we need to have, which embeds everything that we're striving to do. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child contains 54 articles in the convention. 42 are directly about children and young people, and 12 are about how governments should implement them. There are 4 main principles in the UNCRC. The first one, non-discrimination, contained in Article 2. All rights are guaranteed by the UNCRC must be available to all children without discrimination of any kind. The second one is the best interests of the child, Article 3. The best interests of the child must be primary. The third one is the right to life, survival and development, contained in Article 6. And every child has the right to life, survival and development. And then the fourth principle is the views of the child. Article 12 says every child has the right to be involved in making decisions, planning, reviewing any action that might affect them. There are also 3 main themes of children's rights. They're sometimes called the 3 Ps. So provision, protection and participation. So provision. These articles cover the basic rights of children and young people to survive and develop. They range from healthcare, food, clean water, education and environment, which allows children to develop. And the UNCRC is clear that the best place for a child is normally within their family, and that the government has a duty to support and assist parents. And then we move on to protection. Protection, these articles deal with the exploitation of children and young people at work, the physical, sexual and psychological abuse and discrimination and any other mistreatment which many still suffer, including in the UK. And the UNCRC asks governments to protect children and young people and, where necessary, to provide rehabilitation for them. And the third one is participation. These articles are based on the idea that children and young people are actively contributing to society as citizens in the here and now, not just as someone on the receiving end of good or bad treatment from others. Article 12 says this: all children have the right to have their voices heard and be listened to. In Wales, we were the first country in the UK to become a rights respecting country. And when this legislation came into being, children's rights were enshrined in Welsh law under the Rights of Children and Young Persons Wales Measure 2011, underlining Wales's commitment to children's rights and the UNCRC. And this has led to a raft of other legislation, including us being the first country to have a Future Generations Commissioner. This piece of legislation was called the Wellbeing of Future Generations Wales Act 2015. When we're thinking about participation, we want to explore what a child thinks about a subject and gather information to use in developing our thinking in everything that we do in church. This is as true for whole denominational decisions as well as decisions we can make in local churches. An example of this would be the Eco Church Questionnaire, which we have developed for churches to use alongside their Arosha Eco Church Questionnaire. This enables churches to know what children think about the things that we're doing to help our environment, and is something that they're used to doing in schools. But how can we really explore what children of all ages think on a variety of subjects, from the way our buildings look to what they think about inclusive worship. We need to explore their space, entering into the world of the child and allowing them to share their views with us. Using a mosaic type of approach, children and adults who want to gather information, working together to affect change that is best for all. And in using that approach, we are seeking to do several things. Knowledge creation, not simply just extracting local knowledge, which we already know. Encouraging children to construct knowledge for themselves. It is a visual way of listening to and to explore what they mean and what they know. Local knowledge is where we explore the information that children and parents already have about their own environment and space. They are experts in their own world, and this needs to be included in any participation exercise. And then the material world, the world that children occupy. It's a world of everyday tasks such as meeting friends, having snacks, playing on their bikes. It's the world of glue and toilet paper and sand. And research methods should include these things rather than exclude them. The information about children's material or physical world can hold some valuable insights for us. Children are their own experts in their own lives. They are skillful communicators, and we need to learn how to listen carefully to them, exploring what they're saying. And when they take a picture of something, asking them what's wrong with it when they disagree with us, enabling them to explain why they disagree. For example, the walls might be the wrong shade of colour or the wrong texture. The chair might be in the wrong place because that's a space where they play with their cars. Children should be active participants in the research we are undertaking. And how do we allow children to explore that question that we want to ask? Are we ready to explore what they're sharing with us? What are the children's observations? Enabling children to work with us in collaboration, helping them to develop their thoughts instead of having preformed ideas about what they may say. Creating some knowledge production about the world of a child as they see it. And we can do this by having them create photos of their space, drawing what they want to happen, creating pictures or models about the space, instead of just doing knowledge gathering, which is interviewing and surveys and checklists. It is not about the end point. It is about the collaborative process with the children. And this changes the emphasis from action and change to collaborative research activities, which feels a bit more like a two-way process and not something which is imposed with very little opportunity to adapt the outcome.